Farm Ranch with the Other Magazine at the Cannabis Collective Retreat, speaking with Wei Hugh, founding partner of MRTA Law and operator of Lenox Hill Cannabis and a few other retail shops in New York. You're both a leading cannabis attorney and you run dispensaries. How does operating retail change your legal advice to clients?
Oh, it makes me a lot more cynical in certain ways. But honestly, it's I'm sort of a risk-averse person. Nothing's promised, nothing's ever given. As the unknown cannabis industry rolls out, many hurdles, many pitfalls. So I always caution my clients to be sort of risk-averse, be a little bit better capitalized, understand the rules, be compliant.
Not a bad idea.
It's making sure to succeed in certain ways. And being aggressive where they need to be in terms of understanding the sort of regulations, but also at the same time is pulling them back in terms of, realizing what may be sort of out of bounds in terms of OCM.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely the kind of lawyer I'd want if I was opening retail, just one who's actually not just telling me maybe what they think I should be doing, but also firsthand experience.
No, I think you get another perspective when sort of your customers come in, they peruse the shops, they really look through your sort of SKU categories, and really see what you're all about. There's definitely a lot of law in terms of cannabis, in terms of what you can and can't do. But when you're the customer, you're going to the store, you're actually trying to find something and really connect with someone. That's something that's sort of beyond law. It's sort of like understanding of cannabis and what it can do for you, and sort of how, and the many facets and many magics of what cannabis can do. So, always never a dull moment in these two fields.
And what's the biggest gap between what New York's cannabis regulations say and what actually happens in practice?
I would say, New York's very liberal. It's cannabis can be consumed wherever cigarettes can be consumed. That's pretty revolutionary.
Right.
They've been very aggressive. I mean, it's been one landmark legislation, but now you effectively decriminalized it. When we were once the, cannabis incarceration capital of the world.
I used to have to look over my shoulder. For sure.
So it's quite exciting what OCM is really pushing. We definitely want to see, on-site consumption soon. John Cagia from OCM definitely promised it in 2024. We haven't seen the regulations yet. But,
Right.
I think New York is always, I tell everyone, it's one of those cultural capitals. We export our music, our dance, everything. But there's no other reason why we can't export our cannabis culture even further. So definitely very excited to see, how the cannabis industry unrolls in the next few years.
Right. It's bound to happen, that expansion of what we've learned and put into practice. You teach social equity also in cannabis at LIM College. How is New York's social equity program performing in your opinion?
Oh, I mean, when you look at what Chris Alexander has done, no other jurisdiction in the world has more injustice-involved operators running dispensaries. So, I mean, just by that, it's a landmark. You have money going to really the right people who's been in this, who knows this industry, and has really created the underground culture. So, in terms of social equity, tremendous. A lot of people don't even think about sort of the economic opportunities. Labor peace agreements. We right now have Local 338 trying to unionize many bud tenders throughout the state. So, both on the inclusion of the injustice involved people who were previously incarcerated for cannabis, including them in the forefront, having former CBD hemp cultivators being the forefront of the cultivator, the cannabis cultivation front, it's been huge.
It's been different.
It makes you believe in it more. It makes you buy in more into this new licensed legal industry.
Yeah, I was in Colorado for years and in Massachusetts for years. And during the pandemic, I just kind of was following yourself and other folks locally on LinkedIn and kind of hearing about what was getting built here. And I was like, sign me up. I got down here as quick as I could, It's been beautiful to watch. And sure, there's more to do, but it has been a great beginning.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, no, but I've heard somewhere in the art market, right? In the art world, it's like 80% of all art sales are in New York, and then there's London and Hong Kong. There's just a lot of opportunity in New York. Definitely a lot of disposable income, and a lot of sort of creators and fashion leaders. So it's definitely exciting parts in New York and see this flourish in so many different ways.
What legal issue keeps cannabis operators up at night right now that they should be addressing at the moment?
Oh, man. I think two things. I think inversion. It's been definitely in a lot of people's minds. Future supply, future pricing. How do you anticipate your growth when you're not sure of what the price will be, in the future, whenever seed sale tracking comes on. It's we're talking about sort of enforcement. It's right now there's undersupply of cannabis from with operators with not enough canopy limitations. We need more space to grow. So as a retailer, I'm always trying to predict, where should I have my inventory level set at? Should I be being a little more aggressive in stocking up, or should I be a little more leaner and meaner? There's price compressions are real. It's been hitting New York. Vapes are going 1 gram distillates going from $50 now to $35 to $30. How do you set your ordering to that? With the new onset of new rosins, live rosins, how do you allocate your your inventory appropriately for the different growing changing demand? Definitely many challenges. It's hard to keep a pulse of.
Yeah, and a lot of these operators in New York this is new for them. They don't necessarily have a whole history of knowing what those questions are. So it's great to have someone like yourself and the team to help keep them on track. You operate cannabis or retail in Hudson Valley, New York City. What makes the Hudson Valley market unique from the city, would you say?
Oh, great question. It's really a pockmarked sort of opt-out towns. It's opt-in and opt-out towns. So you really have very wealthy Hudson Valley consumer market. All of them, the residents consume with the same frequency as those who live in a city. But yet, they may be in Middletown where they have access to 2 or 3 dispensaries, whereas some people further away maybe to drive 40 or 45 minutes to get to a licensed shop. So, in the Hudson Valley, we're still a little bit more conservative relative to New York City. Some people are more older school in terms of the town representatives, and they've been hesitant to sort of, claim their rightful tax revenue and allowing retail dispensaries there. Hopefully, as they see sort of New York and their neighboring towns, the sky doesn't fall. The tax gets collected. Yeah. There's more, tax revenue for more municipal, jobs. Hopefully, they'll see the light of day a little more and provide more accessibility for the Hudson Valley consumers.
Yeah, I mean, I know walking down, the street in Beacon, it's not all that different now with these shops open there than it was prior. If anything, it feels the same. So that's what they need to see. Looking ahead, what regulatory changes are coming that the operators need to prepare for? I think we touched on that a little bit, but maybe specific in regulation that is maybe seed sale?
Yeah, no, 2 things. I think they're still finalizing the PLMA, the packaging, labeling, marketing, and advertising regulations. I mean, I think we've all been waiting with bated breath in terms of, hey, can we do billboards? Like what kind of signs can we put up? So people aren't able to finalize a lot of sort of their marketing, approach. I think once that is finalized, there'll be a lot more clarity. I think there will be a lot more commitment to sort of advertising dollars. Once those are finalized, and I think it's great for every industry, And I think the on-site consumption regulations, as you know in prior experience, California, Colorado, once they legalized, it was a 10-year lag.
Seriously, yeah.
10 years between, hey, you can buy it in a store to, hey, you have a safe private establishment in which you consume what you legally bought. Mind-blowing. So hopefully New York City is a little bit more, accelerated. You can accelerate that time frame. It definitely, you have to be sensitive to sort of the greater population and sort of society's, tolerance of this newfound legalization. But I think in places like Manhattan, when you go walk down the streets, you smell a certain pungent smell. Certain people would want that, have an opportunity to consume that, take it inside, and keep it away from other people. So I think it's a lot of opportunity. I think once you have sort of the consumption lounges, you'll see even a furtherance of our cannabis culture where people smoke together and, and talk about cannabis and what it does for them rather than having them sort of consume in somewhat isolated environments. So very excited to see, that new approach.
Same here. Cool. Well, as someone who understands both the legal and retail side, what's your personal product recommendation currently?
Oh, my product recommendation is 5-borough pre-rolls. Okay. As you know, 5-borough was a legacy brand. Right. Very popular, in New York City, pre-MRTA days. Yeah. I love this product because I also, had some small role in playing it. I sort of connected sort of, that brand person, along with a licensed cultivator, and now they are in the licensed market.
There it is.
Hey,
Great packaging.
Great packaging, great artwork, slick art, and it sort of captures the New York vibe. That's what New York State wants, Let's get ourselves out of the shadows, the untaxed, unregulated market. Let's bring it above board. Let's bring in tax revenue and allow this product to succeed in the open. So I'm very proud of that product.
What a great
very proud
story.
of,
Right.
no. So, feel blessed, to have known focal people and sort of just put them together just so that this new product could flourish in this market.
Hell yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Wei. Appreciate you.
Appreciate
Have a great day
you.
today.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the
Take care.
sunshine.
Yeah, thank you.